baby, the sunlight is doing me right. Hello you guys, this is Natural Face Beauty back again with another video. In this video, it's going to be about the time that I was dealing with the family-in-law from hell. I hope that you guys can like see me clearly. Hold on.
There you go.
I started dating this dude when I was 18 years old. First, I'm going to give y'all the background story of like, how we met and stuff like that. So we went to the same school and I was crushing on him because I'm like, he looked good. Like at that time, I was a big chubby chase. Like I love big dudes, big old chubby dudes, like that big old belly. Like I was loving all that. So I know, at that time, he wasn't really even looking in my direction. Like he wasn't even looking my way or whatever. So one day, oh yeah, this was when I was a senior in high school. So one day, on Facebook, I had made a status and it was a to be honest. So when you young, you just be like, to be honest this, to be honest that. So he, liked my status or whatever. So I slid on in them DMs because I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is the dude I've been having a crush on and it's my time. It's time for me to shoot my shot. So boom, when I did his, I was like, to be honest, you cute, blah 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 blah, something like that or whatever. Then ever since then, we just could not stop talking to each other. We started talking to each other like every day. Oh my gosh, I forgot, I didn't even give this dude a name. We just gonna call him David. So yeah, me and David started talking like every single day. We were both like seniors in high school, but there was something very, different about David. He was so smart that he had actually skipped a grade. So, with me being a senior in high school or whatever, he was actually finna go off to college. And not to get ahead of myself. When we first started talking, I'm thinking like, oh my goodness, like, I'm finally like getting my crush's attention. Like everything was going pretty smooth. Like he was so sweet. I was thinking like, oh my God, I finally have somebody that accepts me for me. And we just click. We started spending an extreme amount of time together. Y'all know how it is when you like young and fresh. Y'all just loving each other like all the time. And at that time, I didn't have a car, but he had one. So wherever we had to go, he would just come scoop me up. So let's fast forward a little bit. The time came, for me to meet his family. And I was kind of nervous. I want to say this is like my first time meeting someone's family at that time. Whatever. So I mean, everything went pretty good. I didn't really know what to expect because it's like he was like a squeaky clean church boy, really sheltered. Like there wasn't a whole lot that he could do, even with us being the same age. Shoot, there wasn't a whole lot that I could do, but at the same time, it's like I still have more freedom than he did. So boom, I meet the family, everything cool, I get in good with the sis. Me and him, at that time we started, always going back to his sister's house because, that's when we had, our alone time to just, just spend time with each other, really. I noticed that, as things started going further along, I noticed, certain things started to change. And what I meant by that is, like, with him being so sheltered and us being so young, any free time he got, he always wanted to, spend it with me. Me, I didn't mind because I'm thinking, well,
This is my little boo, this is my little bussy, and I'm his baby, so, okay.
I didn't really have any friends anyway, so, we was, like, always with each other, like, 24/7. Like, sometimes, I would go to, like, church events with him. We was always going to church, trips with the church, stuff like that. So, I noticed that, the more time he started to spend with me, the more I kind of started getting the cold shoulder from his mother and his sister. Whew. I noticed that, things started to change. Like I said, we used to always, chill at his sister's house. Because, that was really the only place where we could, have our alone time at. There came a point in time, where we actually, stopped going over there like that. We stopped going over there, like, completely. Because normally, she would go upstairs and, let us just have the downstairs to ourselves to just chill. Which, don't get me wrong, we had, like, a long time at his mama's house, too. But his sister's house, that's where it was really at. Oh yeah, y'all know how like I mentioned like this dude was like extremely smart and so sweet to me at that time. So he was used to always making good grades. So therefore, if his grades started to like slack a little bit, guess who everybody looked at to be the main blame?
Me.
Yeah, so no flex. Like, if they noticed that, you know, his grades started slacking a little bit, it obviously had to be, you know, that he was always with this girl the whole time. Me and David, we really never like went anywhere for real, because it's like it was only a limited amount of stuff that we could do, because with him finna go off to college, you know, his mama she didn't want him to work, you know, she wanted him to specifically focus on his grades, which, you know, that is understandable. Even though, you know, she knew he had a girlfriend, but it's like, since she did not want him to work, his funds were very limited. And what I mean was, you know, I had a job, you know, a fast food job, if I'm not mistaken. You know, at fast food, it's like you still barely, you know, making slim to nothing really. And so with him, you know, having very limited funds, there came a point in time, you know, where I felt like that, you know, she didn't give him any money for us to do anything, like
Nada.
I think we did end up going somewhere. I don't know if it was like to the movies. She didn't basically, you know, give him money to, you know, take his girlfriend out or, you know, do anything with me. So let me go ahead and fast forward a little bit more. Like I said, he was so smart that, you know, he skipped a grade and he was gonna go ahead and, you know, go off to college. And, you know, he still wanted, well, actually, before he left, he had, you know, wanted us to, you know, be official. This is like, you know, I want to say, you know, it's like before I met everybody, he already, you know, wanted us to continue our relationship while he was in college and I was a senior at high school. You know, I was actually extremely nervous, because I was like,
I don't know, like, you know, he's finna go off to college, he's finna see all these different type of women, and, you know, I'm just a little bitty senior in high school.
but eventually, you know, he convinced me that, you know, basically that we had something real. So boom, we worked through it and we decided to, you know, continue being together while he went off to college. When the day came to, you know, actually take him up there, you know, I was like super duper emotional. Like, I was so sad. It's like I was happy at this, you know, great opportunity that, you know, he was blessed with. But it's like, you know, you basically have to go to, you know, seeing somebody just about every day to, you know, barely seeing them, you know, because of the distance. So, you know, as we got further into our relationship, you know, we did start to, you know, have a little bit of problems. You know, I'm not even going, you know, flex, I'm gonna just keep it all the way 100. When I was 18, I was mature for my age, but I still had some, you know, very immature ways about myself, because at 18 you're basically still a kid, right? But like I said, I was mature, but I was still immature at the same token. Meaning, you know, as soon as I get mad, I'm all on social media, venting, letting people know what's going on, a little bit of what's going on. And, you know, I should have never did that, but, you know, at that time, that's how my young mind thought. That's how, you know, I basically release what I had been holding in. Just never do that. Never let people know what's going on in your relationship. But I would vent, and, you know, that was, you know, not right of me. We did start to argue a lot. Like, I remember one time we had like a school dance coming up, and we had been arguing like the whole day, and I believe that the school dance like fell on Valentine's Day. And I was thinking, well, you know, surely, even though we've been arguing, I'm pretty sure he's going to make a way, you know. But I'm thinking that surely he'll make a way, you know, to at least get me something on Valentine's Day, you know. Even though we are going through, like, you know, a little rough patch right now. I just remember, you know, the whole day we was talking to each other, arguing, into it. And, you know, when he showed up to my house that day, you know, picked me up for the school dance, it was just, like, tension between us. Y'all know how it is when y'all be beefing, and you can just sense, you know, something is different about the relationship. Let's throw a little disclaimer out there. He showed up to my house empty-handed on Valentine's Day, did not get a gift, did not get anything. Like, I did not feel special at all. So therefore, when we went to the dance, it's like we was basically, you know, beefing the whole night. We wasn't even really talking to each other for real. And I was just, it got to the point where I was thinking to myself, like, wow, like, I really should have stayed home, because I did not come to this dance to basically be here by myself. Like, what a waste of time. So that day, I think when he was about to drop me off, you know, I can't remember if it was the same day of the dance or if it was something else going on that we had got into it for. One day when he was taking me home, we had like a serious, deep conversation. And in the conversation, he was basically, you know, making it seem like that, you know, I felt like he was making it seem like that, you know, I was actually being a toxic person in this relationship. It basically got to the point where it's like everything was me. I'm always doing this, I'm always doing that. And to me, you know, I really wasn't even doing anything. Like, we both had our flaws and we both had our ways about each other. Like, for instance, something about him is, you know, he was like extremely sensitive. So it got to the point where I felt like
everything that I did was like an issue with him. Everything was hurting his feelings. Everything he did, like, it's always me, me, me.
I started thinking, I was like, well, if he feels like, you know, I'm draining him of his happiness, and, you know, we really like going through it right now, I was thinking, well, maybe there is something about myself that I do need to change. So, you know, basically we talked about it. We were willing to, you know, work through those issues at that time. So let's fast forward, you know, when it's time for him to go off to college. I had rode up there with his family. Everything went good. Like I said, I was like super emotional. I was like crying, like boo-hoo. Like I was looking so so yeah. And then I remember like one time I think I had went up there with his sister, and, you know, we kind of had, you know, established, we kind of got, you know, like a little closer, and we like had like a deep talk with each other, and I was just like, you know, I was actually happy about that. When he actually did go off to college, it did start getting, you know, harder for our relationship, because there was a point in time where, you know, I had to go like a month or months like without even seeing him. Started having, you know, like little petty issues, to the point where the relationship wasn't just us two in it, it was other people in it as well. So I remember one day he had said something to me, like, if I'm not mistaken with the words, but this is what he said. He was basically telling me that, you know, his mama and his sister, you know, had been talking to him, and they was basically telling him, you know, that, let's see how I can word this. They was basically telling him that, you know, he didn't know, you know, what I was down here doing while he was up there, you know, in college. He was in Georgia at college. So they was basically making it seem like,
you know, that he didn't know what I was down here doing. I could be down here talking to this guy, that guy, and he's going to be the one that gets hurt, you know, for basically, you know, putting all his eggs in one basket and, you know, trying to take this relationship with me so seriously.
Basically, they want him to spread his fucking wings like an eagle and, you know, talk to other girls.
They was basically like, well, you don't know what she down here doing, so, you know, you should, you know, go talk to other girls, like, basically get that college experience. And I know y'all thinking like, this is crazy, like his mom and his sister was not telling him this. Like, yes, boo-boo, they was, you know, with everything that's going on these days, they was basically, you know, encouraging him to, you know, go talk to other females, you know, see what else is out there. Once I knew that that type of stuff was going on, it got to the point where, you know, I felt uncomfortable, you know, really being around them, you know, and I wasn't really, you know, around them like that anymore. So yes, it went from me pretty much, you know, having a good relationship with his mama and his sister to things changing, them putting, you know, words in his head, making it look like, you know, that I'm probably
being some little hoe out here,
or some little fast little girl. And for me, you know, actually spending time, you know, with him and his sister and her husband at that time, from time to time, and, you know, me, you know, having dinners with, you know, him, his mama, and, you know, his mama's husband or fiance or boyfriend, I can't really remember, to basically no more. So like I said, he used to always want to be with me, and I felt like that with him always wanting to be with me, that started making them feel some type of way, because, you know, I started to get all of his attention. There would actually be times, you know, where like the fellas and his family were hanging out, and, you know, he would try to invite me, and, you know, I already kind of knew, you know, how his mom and them was feeling. So I was like, you know what, no, babe, you just go ahead, you know, you chill out with them, you know, I'll just see you when you get back, because I didn't want to make it seem like that, you know, I'm the only person that he wants to see, you know, when he gets home from college. Time kept on going on. I guess he was really, you know, letting what they said to him really, you know, affect the relationship. For example, was a time, you know, when he actually snuck home and did not tell me about it. Because there was like a funeral that day, and somebody that went to the funeral, they was talking to me, they was like, hey, you know, I didn't know David was down here. And I'm just thinking, what? I didn't either. So yeah, so then when I talked to him about it, you know, feeling crazy that, you know, my man didn't even tell me, you know, when he was down here around these parts where I'm at. And then he basically, I forgot what he said. It was basically like some excuse, like, oh, but babe, I'm sorry, you know, I just ran down here for a little while, blah, 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 blah. I just still felt like that was like extremely
shady.
So I'm just going to still fast forward a little bit, you know, because I don't want to make this like extremely long, and I hope that, you know, it isn't confusing to y'all because it's like it happened like so long ago and I'm 22 now. So yeah, the relationship wasn't always bad. Like we really had some really good times, you know, in the beginning before other people, you know, inserted themselves into our relationship. And meanwhile, you know, I had never given, you know, his mother or his sister, you know, a reason not to like me because I was always, you know, pretty nice, quiet, you know, just pretty much myself. And, you know, a lot of people don't like that either, but I feel like it was mostly because, you know, I was taking up, you know, his time and attention. So yeah, so in the beginning I'm thinking, you know, I'm all in love, like we really gonna make this work, we gonna stand strong. But the whole time, you know, his mom and his sister was, you know, planting stuff inside of his head. It got to the point where, you know, it's like I was so tired of him, you know, us always arguing, him always nagging over like every little bitty thing I did. Did I feel like I was the toxic person in a relationship? Absolutely not. Did I feel like I had immature qualities? Absolutely. I'm not gonna fully be mature at 18. Some people can, but I mean, like I said, you basically like still a kid. So it's like, yeah, so basically I got tired of him always making it seem like that I was just like this horrible toxic person that's always dragging him down and hurting his feelings and just basically treating him like crap, when I knew in my heart that, you know, I was actually trying for this relationship. But how can you really try with something when other people are having a say-so in your relationship? It got to the point where I felt like he was scared to, you know, basically like stand up to his mom and them and tell them, you know,
this is the girl that I want to be with. This is the girl that makes me happy, and that's what it is.
But no, that time never came. It's basically like it was me in one ear, them in the other ear, and it made me want to pull my freaking hair out. So, you know, one day we had got into it like very bad. I said some things to him that I shouldn't have said, that I said to him, you know, out of anger, because I was so mad and I was just so frustrated, and I disrespected him by some things that I said. And there were also things that he said. So yeah, I'm gonna just keep it $150. Like, this was like my first real relationship, so I didn't really know how to be with anybody for real. There was still a whole lot of stuff that I had to learn. It got so bad to the point where we both just really decided to call it quits. And, you know, he didn't want to work on things any further. So, hey, it only takes
somebody one time to tell me that they don't want me, and then I just leave it where it's at.
Because I'm thinking, if you feel like that, you know, I'm this horrible to you, then maybe you should
just free yourself.
Of course, I did what my immature 18-year-old mind did at that time. And, you know, I get on social media just saying little slick shit, being real childish. Y'all know how it is. He got on there saying stuff too. So we arguing on social media, arguing through text message, just it was just bad. It was just bad. Then, you know, then he makes his little statuses about basically, you know, making it seem like I'm this horrible person. Then family members start coming on his status, y'all. One of his cousins was like, did that little girl do this to you? And I'm just like, oh, hell. That's somebody else to, you know, put all the blame on me. Then something that made it even worse is this girl had reached out to him. Obviously, she had me confused with somebody else with the same name as me. And she asked him something like, is Nikki pregnant? And then so next thing I know, he's blowing my phone up talking about some,
are you pregnant? Are you pregnant? Are you pregnant?
And I'm so freaking lost. And we start arguing about that. Over that little bitty situation that I could not control, I'm pretty sure he could have told somebody that I lied about being pregnant, even though I never had anything to do with that. It was that girl that reached out to him that got me confused with, you know, somebody else. So yeah, after we call it quits, and I'm pretty sure like the whole family probably thought I was some evil little girl that just took David's poor kindness for weakness and just used him for what? The only thing he had was like a car. I definitely feel like that the reason that his mama and his sister were so against the relationship working out, one reason I feel like is because they thought that I wasn't good enough. But I feel like to them, they just felt like that I was not good enough for him at that moment, and that he needed to go find somebody else, you know, even though that was not their decision. After all of that is said and done, I noticed that after we broke up, like, he really started trying to make my life like a living hell. Like, he wanted me to really like feel that pain. And at that time, you know, when we was together, I thought I was falling in love. Oh my gosh, like, I thought I was in love. But he ended up, you know, being more hurt than I was, simply because I told you I'm the type of person to where if you tell me that you don't want me and that you don't want to work it out, then
What am I gonna stick around for?
so I noticed that everybody that I introduced him to during our relationship, boom, he was trying to talk to him. He was in their inbox.
That went from friends, cousins, everybody.
He would start blowing up their notifications. When they did it, to be honest, he would start liking their stuff. Everybody that I introduced him to, like. And then, like, everything that I told him in confidence, that I opened up to him about, you know, things that have happened to me, like, in my past, everything I opened up to him about, I feel like that he started like spreading rumors, telling everybody like everything, basically, you know, trying to make me look super duper bad. Basically, he wanted to ruin my reputation. Pretty sure that he's the one that did it because he was so hurt. And like, him and one of my friends actually did end up texting each other, and it's like, at that moment I did kind of feel betrayed by her, but I'm like, he just doing what hurt people do. And let me not forget, like, there was this girl that I had told him, you know, me and her had been beefing. I told him like the backstory, like I ran him down. I ran David down. I told David everything that had happened between me and her. And guess what he did? Straight up in her inbox, knocking on that inbox, trying to talk to her. And then basically like he told her everything that I said about her to him while we were in a relationship. And I only know this because she showed me the screenshots. Like, we ended up, you know, actually being cool with each other. But she was like,
Girl, like, ain't this your ex?
And I'm like, oh my God, his hurt ass. Stop trying to make me look bad. Stop trying to ruin my reputation.
and in those messages, he was basically like, oh, well, Nikki said this, Nikki said that, Nikki said that this the reason why y'all ain't cool, Nikki said this, you did this to her, and I'm just like, that's why, y'all, sometimes you can't even really open up to the person that you're in a relationship with like that, because you always got to think of like the what ifs. So sometimes I think that certain stuff you should just keep to yourself until you get like that ring on your finger, baby, and you know that you for sure got something loyal. But yes, you guys, there was a time when I dealt with the family-in-law from hell. Hell, he turned out to be the boyfriend from hell after we broke up. But yeah, so yeah, if you like this video or whatever, just go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell next to the subscribe button so you can be notified every time I upload. I appreciate all my new subscribers, and I will see you guys next time.